I am Anna Wilde. I work with women who want to clear birth fears, recover calm confidence, and have a positive birth. Book a private online session with me and start feeling better sooner. So in today's video, you'll learn 6 truly awesome tips about how to get your spouse ready to be the best ever labour support person. But first, a quick disclaimer. I truly hope that you'll find something useful here. However, I don't have solutions for every person. Please follow your own guidance, use what feels helpful, and seek further advice from a medical professional when appropriate. So now on with the show. 6 tips to get your birth partner ready to be the best labour support person ever. So ask yourself, is your birth partner really ready for birth? Will they be able to give you what you need to avoid unnecessary freakouts and stay as relaxed and chilled out as possible? After this video, you'll have some great ways to make sure that he or she will be up to the task on the big day. And I just want to be really clear. By birth partner or spouse, I mean the person who's going to be closest to you during the birth. This might be husband, wife, life partner, but is also interchangeable with a dear friend or a close family member, whoever you choose to be that number one person beside you during the birth. In this video, I'm going to use the words birth partner or spouse, but just insert whatever feels right for you. So the number one tip is give him or her an affirmation list to say to you during the birth. However you end up giving birth, however you give birth, you need to feel verbally supported to keep you feeling safe, calm, and loved. You also need verbal support that will remind you to relax and stay on track, because you already know how you want to be, but there'll be times when you feel a bit overwhelmed or it's all too much and you're at risk of freaking out, and you just need that ongoing verbal reminder to come back to what you already know. The thing about verbal support is that it works best when it's in your own language rather than the default setting of your birth partner, your birth support person. Like if your birth support person, your spouse, just keeps saying, "I love you, babe, you're doing so great," that is all fine and it might be helpful, but it's even better if he or she has a list of reminders that you know will help you to calm down and just trigger that relaxation response. And this might include specific pointers and antidotes to your own possible fears during birth. So give him or her a pocket-sized list that fits in their pocket that they can say repetitively and in an ongoing way during your birth that will help you to refocus and stay grounded whenever you need it. So just include whatever works for you. This might be physical cues. They really helped me, like soften your jaw, drop your shoulders, loosen your butt or your bottom. Or they might be visualization cues like just imagine holding your baby. Just imagine your baby coming out easily now. Or they might be emotional cues like you are safe, loved and supported by infinite beings and all is well. Okay, on to the second tip. Practice how you want to be touched by him or her before the day, because on the day you may or may not want to be touched. That might be something that really works for you or not, but you want to be prepared. You want to have your toolkit packed just in case. In many cases, physical support is a great way to manage and reduce pain naturally. And there are lots of options, including massage, pressure, acupressure on certain points that can really alleviate pain, rubbing, cold cloths. I really recommend that you seek out a doula or a midwife or a friend or a massage therapist. Pay them if you need to, and just take on whatever options they give you and learn some skills that really extend you outside your partner's comfort zone, what they might already know, so they can be more effective to you with physical touch during the birth. Number 3 tip, make him or her your biggest advocate during birth. There are so many forces in a birthplace that can negatively impact your wish and preferences for a good birth. Certain birthplaces might have guidelines in place or other pressures that can really limit your freedoms to birth how you want to birth. For For example, in a busy labour ward, women may only get a certain amount of time to get to 10 centimetres dilated, even if the mother and baby are fine. It's just that there's a way of doing things, and if there hasn't been a certain amount of progress over a certain amount of time, then pressure may come on for interventions that you may not want. So, ideally, first of all, make sure that your care provider has agreed to and signed off your birth plan and your preferences before the birth. Then make sure that your birth partner knows your preferences. And as long as you and baby are well, let him advise for you and advocate for you if your preferences are threatened in any way. It is really not up to you as the birthing mother to have to speak up for yourself and have conversations about your preferences during the birth. You are having a baby and you need to focus on the job at hand. So do some role playing before the birth and talk about how will your birth partner respond, how will he or she respond if there is some pressure for interventions that don't really seem necessary at the time. For example, if a care provider says, okay, I think she's been going long enough, we really need to get that baby out of here, things just aren't moving along, we should really turn on some Pitocin, we should really augment this labour now. What will he or she say? I really recommend an acronym which will help him or her to be able to respond in a really conscious and assertive way to possible interventions that you might not want. And it's BRAIN, which stands for B, benefits. What are the benefits? R, what are the risks? A, what are the alternatives? I is actually more just something you do internally, which is what does our intuition say about this? And the last one is, what if we do nothing? So you can ask all of those except for the intuition part of your care provider. What are the benefits? What are the risks? What are the alternatives? And what if we do nothing? So just explore how you'll respond in those situations with your birth partner before you get to the birthing day. So number 4 tip is back him or her up. They need support too, because in the US in particular, but also in many other countries, nurses or care providers may not be in the room that much. In the US, nurses tend to be in the room only around 50% of the time that you're in labour. Even if you have a midwife, he or she may not be there continuously. But they sometimes are, but not necessarily. And obstetricians often only show up for the last bit. And what happens if your preferred care provider just can't be there on the day and you have an unknown care provider or nurse? For these reasons, I highly recommend that you have a second non-medical support person at your birth. Someone who is really relaxed and chilled out about childbirth. Someone who makes you and your birth partner feel calmer, supported and more at ease. This could be a doula. There's amazing statistics about the impact, the positive benefits of having a doula at your birth. It could be your sister, a friend or your mother, as long as your mum is really chilled about childbirth and doesn't have any scary stories of her own or has cleared those. So this person can also be responsible for environmental support, like keeping the lights dim, running warm water, relaxed music keeps playing, that they can burn an essential oil burner with oils if you like that, can top up your water, feed you and your partner if you need some nourishment, and most of all can really just be there to support your birth partner as well as you. They're sort of like the outer circle around the two of you, supporting and protecting the two of you. So number 5 tip would be, let him or her be a slow labour pro. So in other words, how can your birth partner help you in the case that labour slows down before you are fully dilated, before your cervix is fully opened? Because when a labour slows down, sometimes all it means is that you need some no performance pressure chill out time to let labour restart on its own. So we are mammals, human beings are mammals, and mammals need certain things for labour hormones to flow along nicely and for birth to progress normally. Basically, we need to feel physically and emotionally safe. We need to feel unhurried and stress-free. So how does this translate to a birthing room in a hospital or a birthing centre? As long as you and baby are fine, just ask your birth partner to ask anyone else in the environment for a period of quiet, private, uninterrupted time alone. Do whatever you need to feel more relaxed, safe, and loved. This might mean having a cuddle, listening to relaxation and visualizing your baby or an opening flower, being whispered to, including phrases along the lines that you're loved and safe and that you can relax. It might mean getting some massage or resting and breathing between the contractions. Additionally, the same hormones that got that baby into you can help that baby out. So if it's possible to lock the door to your room or to the bathroom, then some nipple stimulation, some kissing that can really stimulate the oxytocin production, which of course stimulates contractions as well, then that is a really awesome option. Just don't be shy and ask people to leave, lock the door whenever possible, and just do whatever you need to up the sexy. I know that sounds weird, but it can really help. So finally, point number 6, have your birth partner do a little bit of work to clear any fear and trauma that they may have about childbirth, because many spouses have experienced trauma that can impact how relaxed and chilled out they can feel about being at a birth. For example, I've known men who have experienced trauma at previous births of either their current wife's baby or a former wife. And maybe they've had scary experiences in hospital, or perhaps he or she have just heard a couple too many nightmare birth stories. You want them to feel as calm and relaxed as possible for your birth so that you can feel as calm and safe and relaxed as possible. So have them work with a professional, someone like me. Usually just one session is enough to help clear residue, fear and trauma. So that's the six tips. That's all for now. Subscribe for more. And if you found something useful, then please, yes, do share. If you want to clear specific fears or trauma, and if you just want to recover calm confidence, then do book in a personal one-on-one session with me for rapid positive results. Thank you so much for watching.